We're living in dangerous times. The age has come to an end. Please scroll down for my video that concerning Israel, where the Lord gave me a message that there was no time left. It's not the last hour, it's not the last minute. It's the next. We are already in the next phase of what we've been waiting for. Um, 2020, late 2019 began with what we are facing right now. We're right now in the middle of an epidemic, COVID. Whatever the source is, it's a plague. Remember that God refers to the rulers of the earth as his hand. So whenever you're seeing some things happen upon the earth, actually everything that is happening upon this earth, it's the hand of God. Think about this. God is the Almighty. He's king over everything. He's the God of all gods that exist. Every spirit that is upon the earth, and thus every action that they take ultimately answers to God. There's no power upon the earth that is a power unto its own. So whatever happens, good or bad, everything is working for the good of God eventually. Whatever is planned, good or bad. And I'm saying this because a lot of people have been ignoring warnings and signs, and the excuse that I've been seeing is that God cannot do something bad. Or God, there are even people who are arguing against God punishing people because he's a God of love. Well, if you argue that, so what do you think about the word of God that whatever you plant you shall harvest? What do you think about seasons, and that there's time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to war and a time for peace? There's a time for everything upon this earth. Times and seasons have been established by God himself. It is written that in creation he established the seasons. Even the angels are bound by seasons. So it doesn't make sense to ignore the warnings of God by ascribing happenings that are ongoing upon the earth to things other than God. Now, what's happening right now? There's a new star that if you follow some scholars, some researchers, there are people who actually have information. People, you know that first of all, the study of space has not been open to everybody. It's been an area of study that has been exclusive to the ruling powers of the world. So lately, it's important to note that there has been a continual leakage of information that has been coming out, and this leakage has been in form of posts on social media, on YouTube, classified documents concerning events that are expected or are believed to come upon the earth. Some of them which have been sealed for close even to a decade have been released to the public recently. This means that even the powers that be it's not even about acknowledging, it's about respecting the time that you're living in. And as I've said, remember, some of these warnings have only been kept close under lock and key by a few powerful states. Now, it's from these accounts that you're learning about an incoming a dwarf system. A dwarf system is what is believed, and by believed I'm speaking about what the powers that be have classified it as. There are objects in space. These things look like planets, but they behave like stars. So you'd find that these things that are called brown dwarfs or red dwarfs or blue dwarfs are believed to be compact balls made of material that has stopped combusting like the sun has. Now, they're believed to be so dense that their magnetism reaches very far and can affect a lot of planets that they come into contact with. Now imagine this. Our Earth is in place in the midst of the solar system. And this solar system is also a system of a sun, and currently it's 8 planets. It was 9 before, but currently one was removed from consideration because of its size. Right now we have 8. Their rotation, the rotational galaxy around the sun, together with the sun, is called solar system. Now, there are several of these systems which have been, which are neighboring to each other, and a collection of which form a bigger system, a huge, huge system made of several of these things, several of systems that are similar to our solar system. And the entire collection of that collection of systems is called the galaxy. Now, our galaxy is called the Milky Way. It's not the only galaxy in the universe. Now, the universe is the expanse of space where all these things are situated. It's a space that is whose bounds are believed to be non-existent. Now, in this space, there are several other galaxies, millions of them. Some of them still keep getting discovered. In fact, there are some that we can actually see, even from the Earth, but when you look at them, you'll think that they're stars. So when you look at some things like Orion and some of these star formations, they're actually a conglomerate of an arrangement of galaxies. So there's that. And if you look at how they're situated, it looks pretty orderly. So the idea of there being a rogue dwarf, and not just a dwarf system, a twin dwarf system, is mind-blowing. So it is believed, right now the astronomers are saying that the system cannot be detected because it's the nature of the brown dwarfs to be, they don't have light. Though they have the power of the star, they don't have the luminosity that a star has, which means they can just hang out there in space or close to any other system or close to even our planet and not be seen. Now there's a prophecy. It's a pagan prophecy by people known as Hopi. It was written thousands of years ago. What is interesting about this prophecy is that they are speaking about two stars that visit the earth and bring destruction upon the earth. According to the prophecy, I'll see if I can see it to attach it somewhere to this presentation. Now, according to the prophecy, there's a red star that appears, and it causes some form of destruction. Then there's another one that appears that is blue in color, causes even greater destruction, and brings the age to an end because of the intensity of the kind of destruction that has come upon the earth. Now, they were saying that this is not the first time that this thing has happened before. Now, come back to our time. I'd like you to watch some channels, which I think is some governments leaking information to their people. Now, the problem with African governments is that our leaders are disjointed from the needs of the people. This is why I believe that we are a chosen people of God, because the people who were imposed upon us, because the system that we currently have is an imposition of the colonial masters, that when they left their structures in place and imposed a system that will ensure that whatever leadership, whatever structures, whatever laws, whatever social, economic, and political structures or people that we will ever put in charge of them will ultimately be answerable to them. That's why we have international organizations that rule over all these spheres of our lives: social, economic, and political. We have myriad of convention, a myriad of international organizations that concentrate and ensures that laws are passed to govern our areas of life, not just in Africa, but the entire universe. And those that have dared to stand against the system have been secluded, cut off completely from the rest of the world. It's impossible to survive. For those who are looking for the beast and the number of the beast, I don't know why you're looking into the future while we have a perfect example in the structures that currently exist upon the earth. You cannot sell or buy internationally without going through the structures that have been established by the WTO, without being a member and having the sanction of trading in a particular category of goods. So, talking about our governments, the African governments are so disjointed from the people that they rule, and it's understandable because they are imposed from the outside. So our governments have been warning their people. I was watching the other day that there's a European nation that started distributing booklets teaching their people to start being preppers. Now, preppers are people who are preparing for a catastrophe that is not really specified, but they're buying stocks of essential goods, preparing hiding places. This is a very powerful European nation. I'll look for it and stick it somewhere as I edit this so that you can follow up on the same. The same movement is happening all over the Western countries. You'll find it in the US. People are constructing bunkers. There's a prepping society. There are companies that are actually manufacturing goods that can be stored for years, for decades. What is Africa doing? Nothing. We're just seated as usual with our hands stretched out to the food and agricultural organizations and to the all kinds of world leaders begging for food, begging for money. We've become a begging people. We're a nation of beggars. Now, I want you to watch a YouTube channel called Pastor Paul Begley. He's been inviting a person called Mike from around the world. Watch his broadcasts that have this Mike from around the world. Now, this person is a very interesting person. And I pray that you do not ignore what he's saying, because I believe that he's there by design. Like I said, Western nations care about their people. So they're warning them. And this is a channel that I find has a lot of that. He speaks about the incoming planetary system, and also you'll find some a few other people that are speaking about it, like Laura Wells. This incoming planetary system is said to be coming closer and closer to the Earth. According to him, he's been observing distant system. Remember, I've said that close to our solar system, there are other suns and there are planets that are rotating around them, just like our system. So, this person called Mike from around the world has been warning of effects that have been happening to these planets as this binary system that is already very close to within our system. It's already going revolving around our sun. Is it revolving or rotating? It's going round around our sun and around our solar system already. In fact, they are saying that in July, the alignment is going to be in such a way that the Earth, it's still a bit of a distance, so the sun is there, the Earth is there, and that binary system is on that end, so making us quite in the middle. They're expecting an upsurge in earthquakes. Then again, African governments are quiet. I've even seen channels where people are being urged to be wary of earthquakes, to be wary of tsunamis, but Africa, we're just relaxed. We're just relaxed, looking at the future like it's going to be there. Planning for the future like we are planning it ourselves, like it's in our control. While there are a lot of signs that are happening in the heavens that everybody else has taken note. Lately, the Lord has warned me about an upsurge in the sea waters. I live near a coastal area, and I've gotten warnings about the seas upsurging very soon. I've also gotten a warning about Jamaica. You can scroll down and look for it. You'll find it there. So I want you to look at the channels that I've mentioned. Look at the warnings that I've been posting, and prepare your hearts. Make way. You'd ask that, how do we make way? You make way. We go back to the scriptures. How did John the Baptist make way? He did it by baptism. And what was the significance of baptism? Water cleanses, and the significance of baptism was the cleansing of the people. As he cleansed, as the people cleansed their spirits, the principality that was ruling over Israel became cleansed. Remember, it's Jesus saying that since the day of John the Baptist, the kingdom of God has suffered violence. Now, how did he suffer violence? All he did was come and baptize people. It's the cleansing power that was happening in the spiritual realm. So that's what we're supposed to do. Cleanse yourselves. And you cleanse yourselves by repenting. Cleanse yourself by observing. Okay, I'd summarize this, and this is what the Lord taught me. Live right. Do what is right, in other words. He said, live right. There's a broadcast I did, or a YouTube presentation that I did about living right, live truth, live good, live godly. Those are the 4 words that the Lord gave me at the beginning of this season, which began over a decade ago. This is the culmination. Live right, live truth, live godly, live goodly. So go down, scroll down, and listen to how I've explained it.